Hey everyone, I'm Rdebruys. This is Summoner Wars. Today I've got Summoner Wars League game. This is Season 2, Week 1 matchup. Myself versus Dunky. I'm Tundra Orcs, he's Savannah Elves, and this is Game 2 of our matchup. I've got another video for Game 1, which I put out last weekend. As you can see in both games, the Savannah Elves started, so that kind of makes it fair for both of us. You'll also notice I summoned a Smasher to take care of the Lioness. A Smasher costs 1 more than a Lioness does. However, a Smasher can take out a Lioness in 1 hit. A Lioness cannot take out a Smasher in 1 hit unless that Lioness has either got some help or Chant of Entanglement with a Border Archer as well. So it's generally a good trade-off. After my Smasher takes some damage, you can see that I shuffle him back and put a Charger in his place. That Charger has enough damage, should be able to take care of that Wind Mage, and does. I figure I'll just leave my Smasher for another move, probably to jump in the place where that Shaman or even that Charger is, so that I can use that wonderful 4 AV one more time. Here the Border Archer gets a second shot on that Smasher, but once again fails to drop him. Drops the Charger. That's an okay trade-off as well. The Charger costed me 0 magic. The Spirit Mage costed Dunky 1 magic, so I'm getting a little bit of economy there. I bring Shonk in fairly early in this game. I really love Shonk. He's just fun. He's great to attract a lot of heat. Dunky does not like Shonk. I'm kind of surprised Dunky did this, but he used 2 of his most effective weapons as Savannah Elves so that he could OTK Shonk. For those of you who don't know, OTK means 1 turn kill. However, a Chant of Power plus the Chant of Entanglement from a Lioness copying a Border Archer, that is about as strong an attack as Abba has got. And he only managed to take out Shonk. What was that? 1, 2, 3 cards plus a 3-card investment in the Lioness. That was a lot of money that he spent just to get that Shonk. Didn't hate the move. Also, didn't think that move was going to happen at that point in the game. I thought I'd have Shonk for at least a few more turns so he could draw in some aggro. Didn't happen, oh well. So here I've taken a defensive posture. As you can see, I used that Smasher for 1 more attack. Now it's time for that Smasher to go good night. That's okay, I'll just move that Shaman into position and stop that Spirit Mage. At this point in the game, I felt like I was quite far ahead economically. It's hard for me to really piece together exactly where I lost it, but some of you will be able to look and see. I can tell you by the end of this game, I did not have an economic advantage anymore. It was pretty much even. I didn't like this forward Border Archer moving in on that Shaman just to finish him off. I'm actually going to summon yet another Smasher, I think this next turn, and take out both the Archer in the front and the Archer in the back, with 4 Glory, of course, with Grognak supporting a Smasher with 4 Glory. 5 hits is fairly easy to execute, and I lose this Shaman, but I'm okay with that. I managed to take out that Border Archer. One thing which I didn't mention earlier on was where that Border Archer was earlier in the game. Something Dunky did, which was kind of interesting, is he would bring units back and he would just leave them there and let them charge up. Normally, you want to use a unit on the same turn that it's summoned every time. If you don't do that, you're giving away position. It's not the worst idea when you're playing as the Savannah Elves, though, because it gives you an opportunity to charge that unit up. Having said that, Grognak was so far back in his end, and Aboa was so far back in his end, that those units Aboa was sitting on really never got to be used. And that was deliberate on my part. I wasn't going to get anywhere close to Aboa from my end. Here you can see a big turn here. This all came off of a failure on my part to eliminate that rhinoceros the previous turn. I actually whiffed. I don't know how this game would have gone had I managed to finish that rhinoceros. Maybe that was the turning point. I feel like it was. You can see Aboa finally moving off the back wall. I actually have a big turn of my own here. You can see I use what I call a Rhino defense. The way that the walls are situated in the smasher, there's no way that Rhino can actually get through and hit Grognak. Once again with 4 glory, 5 hits, no problem. That 1 was all I needed for that Rhino. And here Dunky summons Rdebruys, the champ, gives her a huge amount of boost. Once again, I'm thinking that other chant of power that I haven't seen. That's the only thing I'm worried about at this point now, because both chants of entanglement are gone. And the other chant of power was used to finish shonk. This is kind of funny here. On turn 10, Aboa had no targets. He couldn't hit anything, so he actually took a wound. I did that on purpose. I was still trying to draw him out. As you can see, I played Grognak very defensively. Here I move Grognak up finally. I only do so because I have a wall that I can use to block Grognak's advance. Here, of course, Aboa can not hurt himself the following turn. He just has to finish off that shaman. He also takes out his own wall, which I thought was interesting. I guess he didn't want to give me the magic. If I had enough, I was sitting on Ragnar. And had I not dropped that wall, I probably could have almost had enough magic to summon him. And that might have also been the turning point in the game. It ended up being a pretty close game, as you can see. And here, the second chant of power finally comes out in a somewhat strange way. Once again, Grognak has 14 health. He's in the mix. Targan's got 6. My smasher was destroyed, unfortunately. But at the same time, Aboa had to use his last chant of power. Now, who knows what would have happened if I had taken out Rdebruys here. Didn't happen, though. And I was pretty sure there was a Lioness. I was keeping track of how many units I'd seen. I actually didn't see many Lionesses. I think I only saw 1. So I knew that there was at least 1 more waiting, and fails to destroy Targan, which gives me a little bit more of a chance. However, at the same time, I didn't get the greatest rolls either here in the end game. And I think when the game is this close, you need to win those rolls. I moved back and exposed Grognak to take on the Lioness because I felt like I needed Targan to live 1 more turn. I was pretty sure there are no other units left. At least that way I can move it down, take 1 last shot at Aboa. And that is what happens. Grognak takes a predictable amount of damage here. The only thing that's kind of strange is Aboa is right there in the mix. Here, once again, I whiff. I would have liked to have gotten that extra shot, finished that border archer. Wouldn't have made much of a difference at this point. This is actually a repeat of the turn we just saw. Some kind of glitch I did when I was recording it, and I didn't bother to fix it. So we can watch me fail all over again. There I move down. Targan did his job. 4 shots on Abwa, but you know, with Grognak, the chances that you're going to have good rolls are that much higher because of his power. And I just love that about Grognak. I love using smashers, and I love using shamans for that reason. Here we've got Grognak taking the last bit of damage here. And he goes for one more final swipe. Once again, only 3 for 4, not 4 for 4. 4 for 4 is not that uncommon with melee dice, by the way. But I'm down to 1. Abba was down to 2. The game was that close. I played a defensive game. Abba was pretty standoffish too. We kind of mixed it up in the midfield there. Abba came out on top, so congrats. Thanks for watching, guys.